Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Pattern Shift on Dr. T TV. I'm Dr. T, and this is the place where we shift reactions into intentions so we can all live our most elevated life. So, the pattern shift that we're doing today is one of these pattern shifts that is a foundational change that will allow people to have all of the money that they want to have in their life. And this one is absolutely essential to having that. So, the pattern shift today is we're going from this pattern of I don't have any money, and we're doing a shift to I've got all kinds of money. So, we're making this pattern shift, and this is really, really important because any story that I don't have money, all it does is create more of itself. So this is a really important shift because I know people are, a lot of people in this world are struggling with finances. They're struggling with money, and they're struggling. And really what it is there's a multi-generational ongoing, this momentum of struggle with money and struggle with resources and having enough. And the reality is that probably somewhere along the way where somebody had less money than they wanted at the time, somebody happened to say, I don't have any money. And even though that is rarely, if ever, factual, like where the person has nothing, or, you know, where for most people that is not factual, that narrative, that pattern of I don't have any money or I don't have the money, some derivation of that, all that does when that is uttered, when that is believed, when that is proliferated, all that does is continue to create that same reality. So this is why emotional training is so vital to this world, and it is the foundation of what is going to transform the issues that people have financially and with poverty. And no matter who you are, no matter what level you're at, you always want to be able to maximize and live your potential. So this pattern shift is big, and making the shift from saying I don't have money or I don't have any money, anything, any variation like that, to saying I've got money, I've got the money, I've got plenty of money, I've got, fill in, whatever amount you want, fill that in. If you want $5 million, I've got $5 million, and start to, and so here's why this pattern shift is so important, because in order to have that reality, you actually have to live in that reality. And say you've got $100 in your bank account, and you say, I don't have any money. And you tell people, I don't have any money. Or somebody says, do you want to do something? You say, I don't have any money. Or you're a parent and your child wants a toy, and you say, we don't have any money. Well, everywhere that sentence was uttered in humanity, everywhere that that belief was continually proliferated, it just created more of itself. And that's why we have so much difficulty with so many people in the world with finances and poverty, and why people can just work and work and grind through multiple generations, just grinding it out, and still end up with the same exact struggles with money by the time, somebody like was supposed to get ahead because their dad struggled, and they end up repeating the pattern. That's why we got to replace the pattern. And it may seem counterintuitive, but this is physics. This is why emotional training that we do at Dr. Tracy Inc. Over at drtracyinc.com is so essential for people, because saying I don't have the money, saying I don't have money is actually creating that reality. And by the way, when you say it, it feels terrible. And when you say, I've got money, I've got the money, I've got whatever it is, $5,000, I've got $50,000, I've got, $2.5 million, whatever it is, you want to replace this pattern of I don't have the money with I have the money, and fill in whatever you want. And why this pattern shift is so important is because the way things are created is by you shifting out of stories that will only reproduce more of themselves, these patterns, and putting in its place the exact pattern that you want, which might be, I've got more money than I'll ever need. I've got so much money, I can give it to everybody I love. I've got so much money, I can solve all kinds of problems. I've got so much money that, and you fill in the blank. So this pattern shift is a massive, massive change for your life, for the people in that are connected to you, and really for everyone in the world. So anywhere that any of you would have ever would have ever said, I don't have the money, we're going to replace that with, I've got the money. I've got money. I've got all kinds of money. I've got plenty of money. I've got so much money. I've got, fill in the amount, whatever. Let's just go with $5 million right now. That sounds good. Very, very important that that shift is made. And as you make that shift, this is how you start to create that reality. This is how that reality now has a chance. Because if you are saying, I don't have the money, or I don't have money, then, and you want money, you cannot necessarily create the reality that you want by giving yourself permission to say, to basically reinforce and again, just continue to pattern the reality that you don't want. Right? The way that we create things is to say what we do want, is to say what we want to be the reality instead. So if you can imagine, this is an amazing change here. This is an invitation that for the rest of your life, everywhere that you would have said, believed, thought, or felt, and accidentally created something that you didn't want, everywhere that that would have been, I don't have the money, I don't have money, you're going to replace it. And now imagine the whole rest of your life, everywhere you would have said that, you're like, I've got the money. I've got it. I've got money. I've got plenty of money. I've got all the money I want, all the money I need. I've got plenty of money. Imagine that life where you're saying that and living that pattern shift and what that experiences and what that does. Now that reality starts to come true, and it actually can happen. So very, very important, because otherwise people are believing that they don't have the money, when really the next step to having the money is to say, I'm having the money. I have the money, so that that reality can manifest. Very, very transformative pattern shift here. And I invite you to do this replacement and to say this to yourself every single moment you would have said that or thought that or went into that cycle. You put this in its place and allow that to create this amazing new reality for you. So I'm really excited for you all to enjoy this, to experience it. And again, this is one pattern shift, and this is one part of the process that we do in the emotional training programs that we do over at drtracyinc.com. And if you want to learn more about emotional training and how it can transform your life and the lives of the people that you love, head on over there, check it out, and see how we can, help you out and get you absolutely on the track to where you want to go, especially when it comes to your finances and actually when it comes to really anything. So I hope you enjoyed this pattern shift. And if it's helping you, go ahead and share it with other people who need it, because imagine in this world, every single utterance where somebody would have said, I don't have the money, and then we're all in that soup of people feeling like they don't have money. And we instead, oh, I've got the money. And that is the replacement. Imagine our whole atmosphere and everything that does and how good that feels. It's really, really powerful. So share this pattern shift. And, thanks for tuning in, everyone. This is, again, just one of them, and there are more to come. And I'll see you next time. Take care.